Hello everyone, now we're ready to do lesson 2 where we're going to identify the theme of 2 stories and then we're going to use the theme to write our 4-paragraph essay. So make sure you like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on this 4-paragraph essay series. In the last lesson we read and analyzed the prompt. Today we're reading the text and we're comparing the stories. So we're going to read the stories while thinking about the main idea of the prompt. Carefully read the stories while focusing on the main idea of the essay. Make notes on the side. My prompt said to compare the themes of 2 stories. So remember, theme is the author's message or life lesson that the reader should learn from the story. To find the theme, do the following. What problem do the characters have in the story? How do the characters try to solve the problem? What lesson do the characters learn? What lesson can be learned from the story, which is the theme? The stories I'm about to read I got from the Illuminate website for teachers. So this is a copy of the first story, but I'm going to break the story apart and show you how you can make notes on the side. So the first paragraph says, one day a fox and a wolf strolled by a river. Knowing that eels were the wolf's favorite treat, the fox told him how the river was full of them. Because he was hungry, the gullible wolf listened to the fox. The fox told the wolf that he should catch some eels for them. So I'm thinking here that wolf should not have listened to the fox. The author used the word gullible, which means easily persuaded to believe something. I think this would cause a problem for the wolf. So you could make a note on the side that this is where the problem is introduced in the story. The fox convinced the wolf that it would be okay to use the fisherman's nets and barrels because he had already caught so many eels earlier that day. The wolf reminded the fox that he could not swim, but the fox pushed him to steal the nets and barrels anyway. He told the wolf to fill his barrel with light sponges, while he filled his barrel with heavy salt. I'm thinking here that the fox is getting the wolf to do things he knows he should not do. I could make a note on the side about that. As they floated down the river in their barrels, the fox reached the eels first. He caught the eels with his net, ate most of them, and put the rest in his barrel. By the time the fox reached the wolf, most of the eels were gone. The wolf was catching eels and putting them in his barrel. The wolf's barrel started to sink because it was too heavy. The fox convinced the wolf to give him some of the eels so that the barrel would not sink. Even though the wolf kept giving the eels to the fox, his barrel continued to sink. The wolf's barrel sank while the fox's barrel floated. The sly fox had planned for this to happen the whole time. He knew that the salt would dissolve in the water and that the wolf's sponges would soak up the water. At this point in the story, it becomes clear that the wolf should have not listened to the fox because the fox knew the wolf's barrel would sink and even planned for this to happen. So I might want to put fox planned for this to happen on the side. As the wolf's barrel sank to the bottom of the river, he jumped out and held onto the net for dear life. The fox taunted the wolf as he floated away to the riverbank. He knew he had gotten away with his plan. The wolf learned he should not have trusted the fox. So what lesson should readers learn from what happened in the story? I'm very certain that a fox is not going to talk to me. However, someone I do not know might try to trick me to get something he or she might want. I think the theme is I should not be too quick to trust someone I do not know. So I might want to put a note on the side that I think that that's what the theme of this story is. Story 2. Stone Soup. One dreary day, a poor beggar knocked on a woman's door. As she opened her crooked door, she wondered why the man came by. She wanted nothing to do with him until he showed her a stone he had in his pocket and told her that he could make the most delicious stone soup with it. Finally, the woman let the man in. She was curious to know what stone soup would taste like. I'm thinking at first she did not want the men to come in, and the author says she was curious, so she let him in. This might cause a problem for the woman because she is letting her curiosity change her mind. So I might want to make a note about that on the side about how it's a problem because she's changing her mind and listening to her curiosity. She soon put a pot of water. Once it began to boil, the beggar told her that they needed some barley, salt, and butter. She pleased him by adding those ingredients. After he tasted the soup, he asked her if she had any vegetables to put in. She quickly got some potatoes, celery, and onions from the cellar and happily added them to the soup. After the soup cooked for some time, he tasted it again and told her that they needed just one more ingredient. He asked her for some chicken. The woman quickly ran to the yard and got a chicken. After cleaning the chicken, she added it to the soup. Still curious how the stone could make the soup taste so good, she leaned over the pot and smelled the aroma. Here the man is getting the woman to do something she did not plan on doing. She used her food and did all of the work. So now we're going to compare the themes. In both stories, the lesson learned, the theme, is about how you should not be quick to trust a stranger. Now that I have read my stories, keeping my purpose from the prompt in mind, I'm ready for the next step, which is to begin writing my essay. This is what I will do in the next video.